Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to CraftyNurseQ. Today we'll be diving into my weekly expense tracking and cash budgeting system. This channel is all about my dedication to paying down debt and achieving financial freedom, and I am here to share the tools that can help you along the way. If this interests you, stay tuned. Welcome and welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new here, my name is Cubatus, and I thank you so much for joining me today. And like I say, I'm here to share the tools to help you on this journey to financial wellness. So if you like this type of content, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like the video, leave me some comments, and share the video with your friends. Okay, so today I have my expense tracker out, and I've gone ahead and I've written down all the expenses for the week. I didn't do too much spending this week. So weekly I do my cash stuffing videos, and I do my budgeting, and I allocate certain amounts to my cash budgeting system, to my expense tracking, and to my different budget binders. And I will be showing you those binders also, and just seeing how I went with it. Okay, so and this is how I came up with everything that I've done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to it's been categorized, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight the different areas in this expenses for today. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the food in yellow, and let's mark that here. I'm going to mark the amounts. Food, and remember, I'm doing home by itself this time. That is my goal, to make sure this Walmart, this was separate, and I do know exactly how much it is, so I wrote it down. Okay, so here, this looks a little deceiving because I took out 100. Took out 100, and 59 was for, was 59.41 for home. Let's do that. 204.91 minus 100. That equals, and then it was 59.41 was the home. So 45. So let's put that. Put that in there. I don't need to put how much money I took out. I want it to be accurate. Okay, 45.51 for home. And it was 59.41. I'm sorry, home. This was food. And I went and bought a whole bunch of these. Okay. And I do want to speed through this though, so I'm about to stop talking so you can see the process. So I'm going to add up how much the food was. Food. Okay, I'm going to give home this, I'm going to assign home this blue. This, another one? Yeah, see, this is what I mean, like this has to come from somewhere. Here, this time. Okay. Let's do that. 4. Gas. Gas is green. Get gas twice. Okay, once I have that, I go back to where I originally budgeted it for the week. And I'm gonna go ahead and write out what my expenses were for the week of. I thought I wrote this out, what the weeks were. I didn't do it, did I? The week of 6, ending 6/6. My food, 45.65. The home, 118.31. I'll leave gas off. Right now I'm doing food and home, getting those separated out. Right now they're coming out the same budget, but 245, 18, 63, and I give myself, what is it, 300 for this stuff? I give myself 350, so I went over by a little bit. Okay. All right, so then I know next week I'll have to change this amount a little bit, how much I'm allocating to my food. And right now it's just all food, but I need to change how much and a lot of that is these clothes. So I wouldn't have come so far over if I hadn't did the clothes. All right, so that's how I do my expense tracking, and it is mainly so that I can see where I need to pivot when I go into, so what is it? 363, so I went 63 over, which means so I can give myself 237. So I'm just going to write this out here now so that I can know exactly that I will be changing my budget for next week. So for the groceries, I'll do 170. Nine and out can get 67 or something like that. It'll be an even number. It'll be rounded up, but I'll give myself 70 probably. But okay. So that the reason I track my expenses, because it is a vital step. That way I can understand where my money is going each week. And then especially by keeping a close eye on your spending habits, you can identify where you need to cut back and allocate your funds more effectively. And this week, that's why I said I'll be adjusting my budget according to how much I spent and where I went over, and see what I can do the following week to make sure that I'm not going over. All right, so now that we've done the expenses tracking, I am going to show you all about my budget binder system. Okay, so all of the binders that I currently use, this is my variable expense swap. And you see these categories: the coffee, dining out, gas, giving, groceries, kids, self-care, and spending. And I've just put, this is where all of the expenses that you just saw me going over, this is where that stuff is coming from. So as you can see, when I go over in an area, I usually just end up taking it out of somewhere. I use the coffee, the kids, and again, all of that stuff is used up. Even the gas went over a little bit this week. But this is where I can cut down on my expenses. Like when I'm deciding, like if I want to save extra for the week, this is the area where I say, okay, I don't have to have coffee. And usually the coffee, it's usually like maybe twice a week I'll get coffee. But this week, and I try to just make my coffee at home for the most part, like stuff like that. Those are the areas where you can cut down. So this is like the conscious spending choices, and you can find the areas that you want to save here. It's usually going to be mostly in your variable expenses. All right, and then I have my bills binder. Okay, so my bills binder, what I do with my bills binder is I allocate monthly. Like I came up with how much my bills are for the month. And then since I'm doing weekly cash stuffings, or putting my budget aside weekly, I just divided everything by 4. And then our weekly, I've only done 1 week here so far. And then all of the categories will be just like this, and it just goes down. And then by the time I'm done, I want to have saved this amount by week 4. So that is my bills binder, and I try to get this. I am almost at a month ahead, but I typically here lately. Last month, I just started last month, and I did have to stop like in the middle of the month to do and unstuff, and then I didn't do it on camera. But this time, I do fully intend to do it on camera, but so that I can pay down the rest of the bills. So I'm almost a month ahead on this stuff, but not my variable expenses like groceries. I'm not a month ahead on that. So I would have to be a month ahead on all of these categories in order to consider that I am fully 1 month ahead on my bills. And then it'll be rinse and repeat. Once I'm done with that, I will just go on to getting 2 months ahead. All right, the next one is my debt snowball. Now, my debt snowball binder, that's the key to my reducing debt, because that's where I am mostly focusing on. And in this binder, I have it set up with the month ahead, because I had to just put do a weekly allocation to the debt snowball. And I try to do at least $40 a week here. And any leftover funds from categories, I would put that here. And this is where you can doing this method, paying down your lowest and then going from there, lowest to the highest. This strategy can accelerate your debt repayment, and this is what keeps me motivated to continue doing it, because I get to see the money going into the binders and then going out and where it's going. So that is why I love this method that I'm using. I can do a full video on how I set up my debt snowball. Just leave me a comment if you would like to see that. Okay, so and then I have the month ahead. It is also in this binder, and this is where I have like all of the bills that I need to get. You saw the bills binder basically is all the same, pretty much all the same things in this binder. And the utilities, gas, and groceries are in here. This is everything that I would need to get a month ahead, and I just place it in here. So this is me, and I'm doing this slowly. I know it seems like it's a slow process, but I'm putting away $5 towards every category, and those $5 count. And by doing the $5 weekly in each category, my aim is to get 1 month ahead on the expenses. I mean, it's a small step, but it's an important one, and towards me getting to financial stability. Because eventually, like these smaller ones, when I'm putting the 5, see, this one is almost done. Well, it is done. This one is funded. So I just need to, not next week, I'm going to still do the 5, but it's going to go toward another thing. So, and then that's how I anticipate it's going to be like a snowball from my month ahead. And that's how I'm going to get ahead faster doing this method. Then I have my sinking funds binder. All right. In my sinker funds, they are for future known and unplanned expenses. And right now, I currently am allocated $5 weekly to each category. So I have high priority and low priority. Like some of them, like these, I actually do 10. And then like if I'm getting close to like something like that I'm saving for, like this would be 120. Like say I was very close to it and the $5 just isn't going to do it, then I would allocate more to it for a few weeks. But I would divide it out by how much time I have. And that's something that I can show you exactly. I plan to do videos on all of these showing exactly how I came up with the amounts in detail. Car tags. Like these are all things that here's clothing. That's where that money should have been coming from. But I was able to get it out of the variable expenses this time. But next time I need to really start using the envelopes for what they are. And I do even have one for giving, house cash, and like my spending, and one for travel. We do a lot of traveling with our church, so that is something that I like to do. So like, car repairs, I do have like the car maintenance, car notes, all of that type of stuff. And, like the kids' birthdays, the kids' school, all of those are things that are going to come up. Okay, lastly, I have my savings challenges. Okay, so my savings challenge binders. All right, this is like crucial for building my emergency fund. And currently I'm saving my ones, my fives, my tens, $10 bills, and my 20s. Haven't gotten into the 50s and hundreds yet, and I'm doing a $1,500 challenge. So these are helping me, and like I say, these are going to emergency fund, and that's what I'll be doing once these are full. They just go to the emergency fund. Really, month ahead is emergency fund as well, because what it is, your emergency fund is getting ahead like 3 to 6 months for your monthly expenses. That way, if something happens, you can have enough time to be able to find yourself a job or whatever you're needing to do. And I also do these mini savings challenges, and that's where I put any money that this hasn't gone anywhere yet. And right now I was talking about the mini challenges, and these are the currents that I'm doing. With the next one, I am going to introduce some new mini savings challenges, and that is all how I do my weekly expense tracking and my cash. And this is my cash budgeting system. And the thing with this is all about consistency, being patient and giving yourself grace. Sometimes you go over, sometimes you're under, sometimes you don't have all the funds to put in every envelope you want. Remember, every dollar saved and every debt paid off is bringing us one step closer to financial freedom. So that's what I have to keep in mind. And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. Hit that notification bell. And let's continue on this journey together, one week at a time. All right, until next time, you guys stay blessed and remember to keep saving. Bye.